Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Street Fighter League Pro-JP 2021. My name is Vicious, here with Xian to get you through another action-packed day full of Street Fighter V with some of the best players from all over Japan. We've gone through a handful of days already. We've gone through all of the crazy matches that you might have seen, but just in case you haven't, you're in for a great one today. We have so much to look forward to and so much to really talk about before we get into it. Xian, I gotta ask you, how are you feeling about today and this the matches for all four of these teams?
I think today is gonna be a really interesting one because it kind of determines certain position, on the league of where you're on the top or the bottom. So let's start explain the rules again, just in case for people who are not very sure. So there will be 3 matches, 1 reserve. So basically the away team has this advantage because they have to pick their character and the sequence first. The first 2 matches will be best out of 3, and the last match will be a best out of 5. The best out of 5 match is going to be a 2-point match. So it's very important, to put a strong counter pick or a strong player, to be trying to get that 2-point match.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. We see how the first 2 matches pretty much consist of 1 point, and the anchor match being very, very important with those 2 points. And we've seen how that kind of momentum swings when it comes to, 4-point sweeps. Even like a 3-point advantage is pretty solid. But for the most part, actually, we've seen a handful of tie matches, 2-2. And as you can see from that home and away system, with that advantage of being on the home team, you can only get that 2 times over, which is something we like to emphasize here. And that some of the teams that have been performing, as you can see from the schedule, have been playing in back-to-back days. If you paid attention to Tuesday, Nagoya Oja Body Star as well as Mildon Bees are a pair of those teams that have to go pretty much back-to-back. So it can be a little cumbersome and a little stressful, but at the same time, a lot of these players, they're professional for a very good reason. As you saw from today's matches, the lineup, we have Good 8 Squad versus Nagoya Oji Body Star versus Team Gyogun going up against Mildon Beast.
And for Nagoya Oja Body Star, this really spelled trouble for them because they actually already played 2 home matches and 1 away. So they are still at the 5th place. The top 4 qualifies for the playoff. You want to have some confidence, mental boost, to be in the top 4. So it's very important that they have to try to win today. Looking at the results 2 days ago, Sai Shukan versus Good 8 Squad, they had a good draw game, 2-2. Pretty good results for Good 8 Squad, but not really, for Sai Shukan because they're at the bottom of the league right now. Detonation got swiped 0-4, by Shinobizen Gaming. This is not a good sign because being in the home team, being able to counterpick every single match, losing 0-4 is a very bad start. And of course, we also get Nagoya Oja Body Star. There you go.
No, please go ahead. I was gonna say pretty much the score. We saw how it was tied up a handful of times. Then it switched over to V6 plus FAV Roto Z, getting a very important win for the last 2 games against Mildon Beast.
Yep, and these are pretty good results, and I don't think there's a lot of unexpected results. The top teams that you guys know, V6 plus FAV Roto Z, Good 8 Squad, Shinobizen, Mildon Beast has been on the top, with all the top players, a lot of the very heavy hitters right there. So, well, we'll see what prize you'll be getting,
Yeah, and for today's set of matches, again, Good 8 Squad going up against Nagoya Oja Body Star. You had a very important point. You were talking about the home and away team and how often some of these teams have played in those certain positions. Nagoya Oja is going to be playing on the away side against the number 2 place team right now. I feel like Nagoya is in a very interesting position, right? Being currently at 5th place with those 6 points, getting as many home games as they had so far. They're going to be playing a lot more away games going forward. That's just the nature of the beast, right? They've already played twice over as a home team, but it's still pretty early to say. They can still creep their way into the top 4, as you could already see with the scatter sheet. You could tell where it's been going, how the teams have been fluctuating thus far, Detonation has had the biggest kind of difference in terms of where they were at in the standings.
Yep, not to forget, Detonation actually has a 1 point extra because John Takeguchi actually won 1 point from the preseason. So being at the bottom of the league right now means that they haven't really been performing very well. So I do look forward to see them doing better. Talking about Nagoya Oja Body Star, they actually, if they have another tie today, they will be having all ties in the league. What do you think, Vicious?
Hey, I think that just creates, or you know, that just pretty much speaks for itself, saying that they're a very well-balanced team. I don't think they need to necessarily be in the top position. Sure, it's nice and comfy up there, but I think if they grasp top 4, they're going to be just fine. So maybe they could do it again. So let's take a look with Nagoya Oja Body Star, Akira being the captain of the team, the young gun who's been proving his worth alongside teammate Oniki, another newcomer to the Street Fighter League with a very impressive Dictator, following through with one of the veterans, Masters of Vampires, MOV, with the ever impressive Chun-Li, and of course, who could forget Dogura with that impressive Dictator as well.
Dogura has been having a really good record. He hasn't lost a single match playing on the anchor or playing on the first position. He is feeling no pressure at all, you know, in a team tournament like this. You having full 100% win rate definitely makes you feel good. Now let's take a look at Good A Squad. Gachi-kun, the Capcom Cup 2019 champion, and the one and only Rashid has been forever. Kawano, you know, new up and rising star, has won a lot of championship this year. You know, Pugera, another rising star, you know, not at a really young age, but on a middle age, but is very, very strong boxer with his unique style. And of course, Kichipamu, the one and only Zangief, along with Itabashi. This is a really, really strong squad right here.
Yeah, very impressive, and also a great balance of old guard, new guard, right? Pugera, I feel like, is one of those hybrids. We've seen him play from previous versions of Street Fighter with that Ibuki that he used to play, but Kawano and Kichipamu have been on the rise as some of the more intimidating threats on the team. So when you're talking about the balance, you know, Nagoya Oji Body Stars, they've been getting a bunch of tie games and have been very, very impressive. You can take a look at the current order set as the away team. It's going to be MOV, Dogura, and Akira. You can see Chun-Li, Dictator, and Kami as their lineup, as Oniki takes the bench as their reserve.
Very interesting. I would think that they would put MOV on the reserve seat because Chun-Li is a character very vulnerable to counter picks, but I guess they don't want to go for a 2 Bison team, you know, since it's on the away side, it's not really good, you know, and having multiple same characters on the team makes your opponent a lot easier to practice because they don't have to be practicing Bison and they can deal with like 2 players. So right now we're gonna have the translation coming, you know, for the home team and the order they'll be setting up for the first one. What do you think?
It's gonna be very interesting. I didn't get to see or think about it, but Gachi-kun is saying let's go as planned in a very calm manner. I feel like he might be trolling, but you're talking about Chun-Li going up first. I would imagine they would want to put up someone like Pugera with Boxer right out the back. Excuse me. That's tough, actually. What do you think? I'm gonna say Balrog. I'm gonna say Pugera is Balrog, but it could be Gachi-kun. But I'm gonna stick it with Pugera.
I like Gachi-kun too. I'm not too sure about Pugera against Boxer, but Gachi-kun has a really good record against Chun-Li, and I know MOV has a pretty bad track record, you know, when it comes to fighting Rashid. It's also a pretty bad matchup, you know, for Gachi-kun. I mean, like for Chun-Li, MOV. So we'll see if MOV Chun-Li can put it off. You know, very surprised to see him, you know, going into it without being on the reserve. He must be prepared. You are right again, Vicious.
What's messed up about this is that I think they might have hinted at it in their interview, possibly because of the way they were talking about it, but I feel like it was at the same time I had that idea because I've seen these two go at it before, Pugera and MOV. Pugera had the better track record. I forgot what tournament it was, but when it comes to the Chun-Li matchup and Balrog, him being able to close the gap with dash punches and kind of contest also with some like medium buttons to outpoke Chun-Li has been very impressive. Pugera has had that kind of dynamic against this matchup that has gone so well for him as of late. So that's why I was thinking Pugera might have been the best shot they had in terms of like yielding the highest rate of success.
Pugera actually has a very different style as well because he's using V skill too. So he'll be using turn punch actually goes through the fireball. So right now we have the Goodness God Trivia. Is a small little game right here, and Kawano is saying that it's been really cold recently, so he just went for the hot spring. He actually has 100% record so far. He hasn't lost a single match yet, so I think that is very, very awesome.
We need to do that. Once the travel ban is lifted, Xian and I are going to be doing a podcast from a hot spring live in Japan, talking about Street Fighter.
That would be sick.
Is that in the budget? Cool, I'll make it happen. Excellent. Xian will be there, right? It's going to be great.
I'm definitely down for it. Japan is having winter right now, so it's really cold. But Kawano doesn't look like he is bothered by it at all. He looks absolutely ready today, and he's just texting on Twitter. He's very confident. As a young player, I feel that Kawano is one of the very confident players. He doesn't really fringe, and he always show great composure. Definitely someone of a making of a champion.
Yeah. You see how intimidating Kichipamu looks? I feel like he's a real character. Honestly, he can be trolling you at one point. He can also be the most intimidating person you could ever meet up against. Being a Zangief main, there's just something about it in their blood where you don't want to mess with them. They're crazy. They're wild.
Some interesting fact about Pugera is when I used to go to Heiwajima, which is where MOV stays, Pugera actually used to stay with MOV, at his place. So MOV has a gaming house, and Pugera is one of those that has stayed for quite a while. I'm not really sure if he's still staying there now. So both of them is actually pretty familiar since the time Pugera has been playing Ibuki, Kami, Boxer, until right now, who he is today. He has made a leap improvement and totally different person, I would say. The Pugera that we used to know and what we used to know right now.
You're absolutely right. I'm glad you brought up that point. There hasn't been a lot of success around Pugera as of late, right? Until this transition into Boxer, I feel like, where he's really found the character, or at least he found himself in the character, because he's always been an Ibuki kind of player. And he was a little stubborn in his ways, and he kind of switched over to Chun-Li as well for a handful of times, so he should be knowing this matchup. And MOV, I don't know what he just ate, but it looked delicious. I'm gonna need that. Can we have that included as well when we do the hot spring stream? That'll be fantastic. Whatever that is, I'm about it. Let's find out what he's eating. I need the reporters to get this information for me and Xian ASAP.
Yep, I can even recognize the background. The MOV is that he's at the Heiwajima living room right there, the place. MOV has a lot of good relationship with a lot of foreign players as well as any players from out of town, because he has a gaming house, so he's very well respected in Japan. And now we're gonna go into the match. Boxer versus Chun-Li. V skill 2, V trigger 1, Pugera special.
And I love it. MOP rocking the BCRF DLC costume, all going to a great cause, and it looks amazing. Actually, it looks so sick. I don't know who designed it, but they need a raise.
That's for sure. Oh, early dash punch is punishable. It's -4. You can't do it at a very close range. Nice buffer there from Pugera.
We were talking about how comfortable he is pressing those medium normals as counter poke buttons, but it also signifies a big thing, Xian. It also means that he's charging up a tap.
Yep, the tap is necessary for Pugera to pass through the fireball. If he do it early enough, at a range, he can pass through the fireball. But it seems like he has no intention of trying to pass through the fireball. He's just gonna play the keep away game. Activates the B trigger MOV. That tech throw right there.
And I like the presence of mind right now from Pugera to just back away and kind of force the error because of the fact that MOV is still in trigger 2. But I like the pressure. -4 again.
The punish.
Oh, there's a tap.
MOV didn't get. He didn't get the dash. A bit of mistake right there from MOV, but he's still one hit away, you know. So he's just trying to get any button into a confirm to CA. Pugera going for the low right there, you know, taking the round. That's really safe only in the V trigger mode because you can follow up right there. Now going on the offense.
Oh. And look at the amount of damage already taken out before it even hit the 80s on the timer. And now MOV trying to take the most of it. Checking the movement and getting the whiff punish. I'm liking this a lot now.
That's a really nice sequence right there. MOV got the stun. Gonna take as much damage as you can. No reset right there. And a beautiful that shimmy right there into the V skill. Very specific range kind of shimmy. You gotta do it not too far, not too near. That's a lag monster right there. I like that punish. That's definitely optimized. 3 in a row.
I'm liking this. Oh, that was great for MOV, but the fact that he caught the dash punch midway through, like on startup, it wasn't allowed to follow through, but that's fine. He gets to save the meter and go into a critical arc. This is going to be a very advantageous situation. He's going to be able to get a mix-up here.
Yep, that's a very nice check on the dash from Pugera. You know, Boxer has a very fast and ambiguous dash, so it's not easy to check the dash, but MOV checking the dash, you know, putting himself in a good position so far. Both players B trigger full on deck.
Jesus, the amount of plus frames afterwards is ridiculous.
Here, the great
shit damage as well. Oh, you're dead.
Oh.
Not quite.
No.
You missed the meeting. He woke up with the button. Yet he woke up with the button anyway. And MOV is also in disbelief. MOV has his hands to his face like, why didn't I meet this man? Why did I think he wasn't going to respect me?
There was no, you know, reversal move, you know, Barok could have done after the EX, you know, lightning leg. Chun-Li is double dash, is +2 on the Oki, and he has a lot of any option, any melee could have done it, but I guess MOV is now not feeling himself, you know. He definitely is not too happy with what just happened. Now the momentum completely shift to Pugera's side.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Chun-Li is a meaty monster. How did that happen? How did he get away with that? I'm still in disbelief. I'm pretty shook. But I hope MOV isn't shook, right? It's been Pugera majority of these rounds in the beginning, except for maybe like that last one where MOV slightly had the lead.
And Pugera has very interesting conversion as well. Like, look how he always convert into the upper, into the V skill instead of the dash punch. That's a very good conversion that only work on standing, you know, so that you can get the V skill to charge. Very optimized way of playing Barok, you know. When you land a hit, you need to confirm into the correct move on standing and not the dash punch, just to charge the V skill too. Really, really good play from Pugera.
He's had a lot of opportunities to score these knockdowns and go into V skill 2 more often than not. It's been pretty detrimental to MOV, but these are one of those rounds where MOV finally gets that momentum going, and immediately after Pugera sweeps it away from him. I'm liking this. He still gets hit. He tried to press a button in between. Pugera in a lot of danger. Still pressing buttons on Wake Up. MOV has not found the right timing for meaties. He's dropped these instances so many times already. He cannot afford to do so because, yes, sir, here comes the possible mix. That's what I'm talking about. MOV still hanging in there, getting the throw, tying it up in rounds.
That is too much drop from MOV. I feel like MOV hasn't really found his footing so far. Like, a player of his caliber doesn't drop. Look at those 2 bars and the corner carry. This is a lot of damage right here from Pugera, you know, but he has landed himself into the corner. Gonna see how he's gonna get out of it. You know, Barok has no problem getting out of it. This combo is chasing for the stun. Okay, fights it back. V trigger. There's always a chance for a comeback. Nice buffer right there.
Perfectly spaced. Yo, MOV just finding the right time to punish the dash punch. Oh, oh, this is awful. This is awful for MOV. That is actually unfortunate. He tried to go for the mix, but it's too shallow to actually make it look ambiguous. That was so... It was so tough to be an MOV fan in that instance just because of that setup. It's like that setup we've seen before, and Pugera was not going to fall for it. 2-0 clean. MOV still not finding a W on the board thus far in the league.
That's basically a 50-50 there, right there, you know, and Pugera, we're gonna give him credit for blocking that, you know, during that clutch situation where MOV, he reads the MOV is trying to score something for a comeback. You know, this is MOV's third appearance really, you know, and he hasn't gotten a win so far. You know, sometimes, you know, losing can be a habit. So MOV is really gonna be feeling more and more pressure as time goes. And I want to see him pick it up, you know, play his A game. This is not the MOV that I know, you know, we want to see things get better, you know, for now.
You know, you mentioned the kind of streak that Pugera has had in his career as a professional Street Fighter V player. I feel like MOV has kind of slipped into that position as well, where he hasn't found the most success with his characters. And as you can see in the stats below, 100% in the anti-air department coming in from Pugera, whereas MOV just hanging out with a bunch of donuts. All zeros on the board, unfortunately, but still plenty of time for MOV to get reacquainted and readjusted. I think it's just a matter of time before we really get to see him excel. But as it stands, Pugera just getting the better of it, 2-0.
Yep, don't forget there's a 14 games for each team, 7 on the home, 7 on the away. This is just the beginning, you know. There's always a lot of time to pick up your pace, improve and get better, you know. This is just the beginning. MOV still has time to play around with it. So right now, you know, we have home team Good Squad. They're gonna be discussing who they'll be coming out to fight against. Bison, Dogura, which has a 100% win rate so far. I wonder who will be sending. What do you think, Vicious?
They have to be setting up Kawano next, right? I think Colleen versus Dictator is not going to be too bad, and I feel like he's played this matchup a handful of times. I think they would want to save Gachikun for the Kami matchup, which he's so familiar with. We've seen him dismantle other Kamis before, and I think it just makes sense to have the leader sit in the anchor spot.
The interesting is the Rashid doesn't even really beat Kami, but this is one of Gachikun's signature matchup. I wouldn't even say the favorite matchup, but he's so good at the Kami matchup, he probably will be fighting Kami, you know, like, and he changed the meta, you know, the player changed the meta of the character and the matchup there, something that Gachikun, you know, a player of his caliber, you know. But then he's not gonna go for the matchup, I guess. He's going for a good matchup. No surprise.
I respect it.
That is a good matchup right there for Rashid. Rashid versus Bison. You can pressure, you know, Bison has no reversal. You know, it's very hard to anti a character like Rashid. Especially with the amount of trajectory, you know, Rashid can move in the air. So let's see how they're gonna do this right here.
So I do like it. Gachikun putting himself up next, and you mentioned how they want to pretty much get as many good matchups as they possibly can. They mentioned that their plan is to claim 4 points and be on the top of the charts. A pretty solid plan, if you ask me. I feel like that should be the objective of every team. But I will say that I was thinking, you know, Kawano might have been going up next only because of the fact that, you know, in between certain frame traps, in between certain situations where Bison can continually add that gray life, Colleen could sneak in a counter, which we've seen Kawano kind of do in those certain situations. But I do like your idea of saying, you know, Gachikun with that Rashid can constantly pressure Bison because of the fact that he does not have that reversal. So Gachikun coming up next against Dogura makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, I definitely like, you know, the choice. So they're going to try to go for 4 points. Although it sounds like the obvious, but isn't every home team should be trying to score for 4 points? But it felt like Dogura's team, you know, team Nagoya Oja Bodystar is always trying to strike for a draw. You know, I don't want to see them having a draw today because they have 3 draws in their pocket already. With 100% Dogura record, can he counter someone like Gachikun? Gachikun has a pretty bad record against Bison. You know, so we will see if he can break through this.
How interesting. Yeah, that's a lot of pressure. Dogura having a 100% win record, and you talking about Gachikun not having the best record against Bison specifically. We'll see how it turns out. A little bit of a fun fact too. Oniki says he likes to exercise, but he hasn't been exercising much this season. He's saying that he wants to join a marathon run, and those things are not easy. You have to prep for those. MOV said he had mushroom rice yesterday, but the mushroom was too small and he wants to eat bigger mushrooms. You know, maybe that could have been the reason why he didn't find success today, because the mushrooms didn't power him up enough. There just wasn't enough there. And another fun fact, Dogura has been sniffing this lemon scent as of late. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention in the chat, but Dogura always mentioned this lemon scent. It's the reason why he's been so successful. It makes him play better. I don't know what's in that scent, but it's definitely lemon, and I need to know what that is as well. I need to know where they got it from. You guys have all the tech.
I definitely want to see that lemon scent, you know, improving his entire game today against Gachikun, you know, especially Rashi, because we know Rashi will be jumping all over a character like, you know, M. Bison. So let's see if the lemon scent can do anything, you know, to help him up today. Scored at 1 point, tied it up, you know, for Nagoya Oja.
Right, we'll see what happens. Again, Good 8 Squad has done a fantastic job thus far in accumulating as many points as possible each and every one of their games. When you're looking at how many times they've been on home or away, I think they've been away 2 times over thus far. This is their 2nd time ever being on the home team. So this is their chance. This is their opportunity to get 4 points. The last time they were on the home team, they faced off against Shinobiism Gaming. Gachikun actually lost to Fujimura, who's also had a very impressive track record. So we'll see. That was when they scored 3 points.
Yep. Gachikun has been struggling in the Bison matchup for some time, so I suppose we can see a lot of nice stuff. I see him lose a lot to Problem Max, to a Hot Dog, you know, and this is one of the characters that he generally have a lower win rate against. So let's see what is his approach. Early jump in, getting a frame trap. That is the position we are talking about. Okay.
So far so good when it comes to, yes sir, the neutral jumps. No punish on the standing roundhouse, being -4. Little bit of an advantage towards Gachikun.
I like how Dogura is very, very careful in throwing out the Psycho X. You know, and because Gachikun is one of those players that are very defensive, is always baiting for it. So Dogura is make sure that his eyes are super sharp before he throws a scissors kick or a Psycho X. The mental stat is real.
You could see Gachikun kind of playing out some of his defensive options, majority of it being be spaced out enough to get away from the heavy buttons, and then every now and then he'll throw in that occasional neutral jump to stop the scissor kick or a Psycho Axe.
Yeah, they both are playing very respectfully. With Gachikun tried to use the reversal to punish the Psycho Blast right there, but he didn't got it. You know, a little bit of an execution error. It's a very slow-paced game from both players, but ending into a 15 seconds. Really, both of them are so low on health. This crush counter may be the thing that is needed to take the round right there. And that is gonna be it. Takes the throw.
Nice work. Excellent anti-air there from Gachikun. That's going to be 1 on the board for him in the stats, but I got to say that first round, very impressive. At the pace that Dogura likes to set, he's been playing it down to the wire or down to the final seconds, majority of his matches being kind of a bully, like a neutral bully, with the way he emphasizes his medium buttons and his heavier buttons as well. Gachikun playing to his strengths. He's playing that defensive role pretty well, as you mentioned, being a very defensive player.
Yep. The neutral game so far is pretty even for them. Wow, Dogura's lemon scene is working out right now. Those anti-air was sharp. That was really, really fast. He has been waiting for it. I have never seen Dogura anti that fast ever. Nice
That's what
bait.
I'm saying. Very impressive. And it's going to be very difficult. Okay, hey, not bad. He gets himself out of the corner, only takes damage from a medium kick, but now it's all Gachikun. Once he opens up the floor on offense, it's so hard to get him off, especially as Bison sneaks in a 3-framer. What a check from the V-reversal.
That chase out right there from Dogura. Okay, both are in their V-trigger mode right here. Not good, not to do anything risky. Dogura still slowing the pace. He knows he has a chance. No, that looks like an executioner error right there from Dogura. I don't think he meant to do that. He got a Psycho Crusher over, but then, you know, Gachikun may have been able to block it in time already. Things not looking too good for Dogura, but I would say that his entire game is very sharp today.
We'll see if it plays off. Let's see if he has to use it in this second game, right? I feel like Gachikun has done a very great job of playing the ground game, already exposing the defense from Dogura. Very important tech now, creating that space, allowing him to get that that buffer crouch medium punch, but still stuck in this corner.
The V-shift break is very, very good because you only waste half the V-bar and you get the knockdown. We all know how strong Rashid can be when he knocked the opponent in the corner. I like the V-meter management right there from Gachikun. Since it's a two-bar V-trigger, he can afford to use V-reversal and V-meter, so you can think of how to strategize your, usage. Okay, nice combo. Going for the damage instead of the command grab.
I get that. I get that a lot, actually. You know, still having a lot more V-trigger left, but now if you don't get to use it, you might end up holding all of it. Gachikun is on a roll, multiple throws. That could have been so dangerous for Dogura if Gachikun read it a little bit correctly in the right space.
Dogura has to be a little bit more careful. He's almost on a chip damage already. He's almost on a chip damage already. Anything could have chipped, if he just land a few more hits right there. Nope. Saves the meter. Wow, this is good. I like the measure that Gachikun is going for, using the EX Win to get rid of the EX Cycle Blast. Checking the dash. That was on point. That was so on point from Gachikun. Dogura is playing very well as well, but I bet that Gachikun is a lot more on point right here.
Yeah, you can see the patience setting in for Gachikun. There hasn't been a lot that Dogura has been doing to keep himself away from Gachikun, or like on defense pretty well. Like he's been getting exposed time and time again with a bunch of medium punches and the throws as well. I think Gachikun, it's a testament to Gachikun and his mix-ups. Like being able to change up from that throw into the frame trap from the medium punch has been so ambiguous. Dogura hasn't been finding that patience to keep it on cleaner on defense, I should say.
Yeah, he has been managed to crack open the defense so far, so nice side switch combo. And now we get to the corner again, very familiar. One of the thing about Bison is the ability to use the EX scissors kick to just get himself out of the corner. One of the best move, in the neutral, has many good usage. But then Rashid is known to just bring it to the corner easily as well. You can't guess right so many times.
If there was a stat to how many times a person has been thrown, I think Gachikun might have reached double digits, to be quite honest with you.
You're right. Gachikun actually throws a lot, compared to other player, And Dogura actually managed to defend himself pretty well by tanking, jumping, all the different options, taking the throw, but then getting pressure way too many times is something that couldn't got him the victory right there.
And as much as Dogura wanted to play his game, I think Gachikun realized that pretty early on and realized, I could also play that game pretty well as Rashid. Because when you talk about how many benefits Rashid can reap off of opening up an opponent, it's way more an advantage for him in comparison to Bison. I feel like the Rashid that pressure gets off of throws, off of the mediums, and all of his frame traps, I think is just, it leads to so much more than it does compared to Bison's offense.
Yep, although Bison is known to be the character that can do continuous plus frame attacks, but then compared to Rashid, Rashid is a lot more faster when it comes to doing this, and a lot more scarier because he can always add on a dash and a jump easily because it's way faster than how the way Bison is. So looking at the stats, it's a very clean game. What do you think?
100% anti-air, you could already see it coming in from Gachikun. 1 out of 4, 25% from the side of Dogura. To be fair, there were certain safe jumps he couldn't really handle in those situations, so it's tough. At a closer angle, Bison is not able to anti-air as successfully. He's very susceptible up close or sharp angles in general because of the recent patch, right? You can't crouch jab anti-air as often as you'd like to in those angles.
That's a big one without being able to do crouching jab, because from the game I feel like Dogura anti isn't really that bad, so 1 out of 4 stats is a little bit unfair to him, but then I feel like he's overall done pretty well in the anti-air aspect, so I think he has did his best. He lost the 100% record, but then don't forget they are the king when it comes to the tie. They still have Akira on the back, and now we're gonna have a little bit of the home team. Colin Kawano will be coming out as the anchor. This is the second time he has stood on the anchor match.
I like it. Looking at his current track record overall in Street Fighter V, I think Kawano has been one of my favorites to watch because his Colleen has been so impressive. Overall, when you look at his performance recently, he was the Topanga champion for Street Fighter V, as well as the EVO 2021 Online Asia East champion. So he's been on a roll, man. He's been a part of multiple teams in Street Fighter League. He knows what it takes to be a champ. He knows what it takes to be a part of that top 4 placement. Looking to do so again. If they manage to secure a win now, man, it'll just propel them to the top and be in such a good spot for those playoffs.
Yeah, not to forget, he's only 21 years old with so many championship belts in his deck right there. And Akira is also a very young player. This is basically a young man battle right there. It's very interesting to see how this matchup is gonna play out. I guess they are both prepared, to be fighting this anchor match, and I really want to see Akira taking it so that they can have a draw again, Nagoya. Let's go.
I like it. And we've seen how aggressive Akira can be, right? Some of his matches as Cammy pretty much take it down to the wire. What a read! Are you kidding me?
The chase down right there early on the backdash. Akira is playing quick as lightning, just like his nickname right there. Totally deserve it. Nice confirm and the shimmy.
Somebody call an ambulance.
Awesome.
There's a slip and fall in the sauna. There was a slip and fall in the bathhouse.
That was too fast. That was way too fast. I haven't even blinked my eyes and the round is really over. Very nice EX strike right there, landing on the feet of his opponent, gaining him plus frames for the next follow-up.
Now, we talk about how powerful Cammy really is. Like, you talk about the kind of abusive normals that Cammy has and how quick she can end rounds. Akira is really filling in that stereotype when it comes to talking about how cheap Cammy can be, I feel like.
Yeah, like he's using all of his button well. Like he uses down medium kick, stand heavy, stand medium kick. He uses almost all his button at the right point. This is so impressive how he's playing the neutral game. Okay, nice activation from Kawano. Now it's gonna get him to the corner.
Oh, he tried to use movement as an option on defense.
Now the stun is building.
What in the world? Oh my god, I almost used a word that I didn't want to use. I'll tell you what, Akira is a madman. He jumped up EX dive kick on wake up. You have got to be kidding me. Mans is so disrespectful. I actually almost lost it. I felt like I got hit by wake up dive kick. That was ridiculous.
Well, we didn't know that dive kick, EX dive kick can be done on the wake up. This is the second time we see Akira doing that already. Both time has worked on him, and it brings him from the corner and picking his opponent back to the corner. Actually, it's a very nice an interesting option like to be explored. Catching the backdash again. It's the same deja vu things happening.
Man, he is not afraid of what Kawano can bring to the table, but it's better for Kawano being at the deficit. Getting a solid read on how Akira wants to play. This is in true fashion of a veteran Street Fighter V player, just downloading and digesting all the information given. Forward throw now, a backdash from Akira. Now it's going to see if it's going to be a saving grace. I like that, covering with the option select off of a whiff throw.
That was so sick right there. The option right there, really anticipating the jump back. Now it's a... Wow, that was a hard read. I like the read right there. Kawano show he has the balls. He's a young player. He has the hard read. He has the solid game. Perfect. Perfect play.
I will say that
back to the slow pace.
The short burst of offense from Akira was very impressive. I keep forgetting how far of a trajectory her uppercut is. So if the person actually, like, whiffs the throw because somebody backdashes or jumps, they can option select into the uppercut. It's very nice. Or maybe mostly to cover jumps rather than backdash. It's still impressive. Oh boy.
Yep, especially in the V trigger, Cammy has a way further range of the DP as well. So Akira really make full use of that. And now his back line misconfirmed right there. They're gonna take the damage. Now it's the corner. Kawano not taking any throw so far. He's doing a lot, everything but taking the throw.
Oh, just not to throw it himself. I like that from Kawano, but still, any hit can lead to big damage. Akira, if he scores this critical art, it's going to be so advantageous because even if it doesn't kill, he still gets the Oki situation, but it's going to be it. That's going to be more than enough, especially with trigger on deck. One. The reset instead! No. What? I feel like he could have died. Oh, no. He gets to continue it. Critical art incoming!
No. Oh. This is enough? Nice.
It is enough.
That was awesome. I didn't understand Kawano's decision. I feel that there's definitely a better combo right there. I was really surprised that he was saving it. Maybe he knows better that it will not kill. But it does look like he has very low damage right there already. Oh, okay, nice. He confirmed.
I can't tell. Maybe you would have lived at like a sliver of life, but still, you should have went for it. Akira getting another big conversion. That was counter hit as well. He actually snuck in a heavy punch right before the full combo.
That's the Akira special right there. Whenever he lands a counter hit off the stand medium kick, he doesn't go for straight DP. He adds on the stand heavy punch, has some extra damage. I really like the optimization from counter here. Didn't got the confirm from Akira.
Oh, is that enough?
Wow.
No, not quite. Oh yeah, the second one does it. Kawano not afraid to walk up into his face and get the throw. That still could have gone towards Akira. I feel like this is the first we've seen Akira actually take off his headset and be like, what just happened?
Yeah, that's a very young and gutsy play there from Kawano despite playing in like very solid ground game all the while. He just switched up his momentum, and it's the style that is like completely different. This is the kind of world-class player right there, That's why he won so many championships. He can switch between fast and slow, offense and defense. Strong play there. Let's see what approach he's taking this round. Oh, that air-to-air was sick. That was a very fast jumping back jab right there.
Oh, that was sick. Oh my god, and the arm bar to catch him. Trying to jump in. Very smooth from Kawano. Great defense.
Akira went with the wake up jump EX dive kick again. This time didn't work out, but then it seems that this is one of Akira's very strong arsenal of two, has the wake up option. Okay, big damage so far. Throwing the ice. I'm not sure about the reversal though. Now he has no.
This guy just disrespects Kawano like that? That's great. That's excellent for Kawano. My man Akira just dashed up in Kawano's face and got a counter hit with that medium punch, but Kawano keeping it nice and cool.
Kawano has a very nice checking dash. He's a pretty good record when it comes to checking dash. So Akira is very... Ooh, didn't get the corner escape. There's no combo from the crush counter from Colin stand heavy punch without V trigger. So just get a throw. Now the position is perfect for Kawano right here. Oh, perfect
So
game.
on point. And you see the big
Akira.
adaptation made from game 1 into game 2, now transferring over to game 3. Kawano has done such a fantastic job of neutralizing the threat of Akira. No free buttons and still outside of the ranges that Akira wants to play at.
Oh, try to go for the B skill. The little gimmick right there from the down medium kick. Another
Oh
dash in right there, catching Kawano. That was nice.
No way! That he has pulled out every trick in the book and it's worked. No, not again!
And this time Kawano went for another EX counter right there, but Akira with the nice shimmy delayed heavy punch for the punish. Good option right there from Akira. The adjustment, you know, after getting hit by the EX counter the first time. I like how it is so far.
Xian, how many times? Again! Oh my god, the optimization! This guy is ridiculous.
How can you wake up EX dive kick and still get a forward heavy kick? This is part of the plan right there. Nice confirm. Akira's play was very interesting, you know. Okay, pushing, spanning the bar for more corner carry.
Oh, he tried to sneak in the
way.
dash. That might be his demise, actually. Kawano has done a great job, as you mentioned, checking majority of these dashes. Sometimes they let go, sometimes they get away from him. But he gets it when it counts. This should be more
This
than
is gonna
enough, right?
Kill. Yes, this is definitely gonna kill. He has one EX bar right there, along with the V trigger bar. What a comeback right there from Kawano. I felt like Akira deserved the round right there. But he has scored so many hard reads. Jump EX on wake up, you know, like the jumping was on point, the ground game was on point, but he just couldn't manage to close it out. Little unfortunate situation right there for Akira.
Yeah, but it's not done yet. Kawano with a very, very impressive comeback and, you know, holding his ground, having a full game advantage, 2-1 against Akira. This is best of 5, so Akira is talking it out with his teammates, trying to figure out what the strategy is against Kawano. But I will say, Kawano has been under the tutelage of so many great players in the past, in previous Street Fighter leagues. Being a part of Team Gaia with Fudo, being a part of Umehara Gold with Daigo in back-to-back sequences, it's been very impressive to see his growth overall and how much he's come into his own as a professional Street Fighter V player. You're starting to see the adaptations, you're starting to see him digest this information, and it's been so difficult for Akira to comprehend, right? A lot of these tricks, they are coming up a little short when it comes to the fundamentals, but I'll tell you what, Akira still has a couple more games to play to see if he can take down the Titan that is Kawano.
Yep, now this is gonna be, I really like that confirm right there from Akira. Is young and is never afraid to confirm the down medium kick. So on point. But now waking up with jump normal dive kick without EX. Akira still now a new option right there with the EX DP. I liking Akira's option so far. Like he's been mixing up his defensive option very well. Although it's very unorthodox, I would say.
It's very high risk, high reward kind of play style, and I appreciate that, to be honest. He has a lot of wake up options that aren't necessarily the most beneficial, I would say, but man, it can lead to a lot of mental damage, that's for sure. Kawano, speaking of mental damage, already laying it down with that V trigger too, so hard to contest against, but once it's gone, it'll be, oh, again, double dashes forward! Oh.
How did Akira manage to dash in so much on Kawano? You know, Kawano being known to be checking dashes, but Akira is as quick as lightning, and he jumped. Sneak off with an empty low right there. That was awesome. That was too quick.
Being the pro player that you are, right? You've seen a handful of CPTs in your days. How many times have you felt that empty jump low and your soul just get absolutely crushed? I feel like every time I see that, I feel so bad for the opponent. Because one, you missed the anti-air. Two, you got duped into thinking there was one coming.
Yep. This is a move that although every pro player can block the empty jump low, but when it happens sometimes, you know, it's just gonna work. Wow, what a situation. The double EX eyes right there, you know. Akira tried to do the EX drill. He didn't meant to do the EX DP, but then a bit of execution error. He still can have a chance for the comeback.
Oh, another big execution error. Akira just committed to the string. Not even a hit confirmed, not even close. And I will say, Kawano earlier, I feel like he might have had a little bit of reluctance to go for a high damaging combo to finish the round. I feel like he might have had it earlier, but still, Kawano, not too bad. Already on match point against Akira.
Yep, just like you say, you know, that is really bad confirm right there from Akira. But then, you know, he's on the anchor. He has a lot of pressure to bring this 2-2 back. Let's see how it's gonna. I like the backdash right there. Now he managed to get himself. Kawano is very interesting how he just backs off, you know, after he gets Akira in the corner, because Cammy has a very good reversal. So you don't wanna let Cammy put you back in the corner right there. I like the safe approach there from Kawano.
Yeah, those 5 light normals before he went to the throw. That's a lot of frame killing. All the frames have died for that sequence. You're dead! Speaking of dying, that's gonna be more than enough. Kawano taking it 3-1 in a hot streak. 100% win rate as the anchor for Team Good 8 squad. Getting themselves a full sweep. The plan coming to full fruition from the leader Gachikun saying, we're gonna do as planned. We're gonna get a full 4-point sweep as the home team.
Well, going as planned. Kawano is really playing like a robot. Whenever he gets a knockdown, he whips the correct button. If you're not recovering, he'll whip it again. Very robotic gameplay, you know, nice hit confirm. Literally like a CPU. I feel like this is the future. Like he's been playing almost like a CPU right there, doing everything that it needs. Besides getting caught by the empty jump low, you know, and those wake up jump EX dive kick, he has been playing super on point, I would say. 4-0 for Team Good 8 squad. Well, everything went as it planned. Perfect.
You're not kidding. You are absolutely not kidding. Everything went according to plan. That's going to boost up Good 8 squad up to the top. I feel like with that 4-0, I think they have 13 points now, whereas Oja Body Star is still stuck with 6 points. But you could see how much of a dominant force Good 8 squad really is. They put the good in there for sure. 2-0 the first game, 2-0 in the second game, and Kawano, despite losing the first game, managed to make the proper adjustments, getting it 3-1 against Akira. You can see a very robust set of statistics there. 7 out of 12 in the anti-airs, 58%, 2 out of 3, as well as 3 out of 4 down below. You see the anti-airs as well as the invincible reversals coming from the side of Akira. I will say, that's about as close of a set we've seen thus far in Street Fighter League in terms of the intensity of it all, the offense of it all. It could have gone either way.
I feel like the 0% from Kawano or the EX Invincible, they should add the EX counter into it, because I think Kawano did land a few EX counter on his wake up, which is kind of a invincible wake up, I would say, and he was pretty on point with that. You know, when using that, the EX counter is very scary. Let's watch some highlights right here. You know, for the match, it's starting out with the MOV and Pugera's highlight. There's quite a few nice stuff that we can see from this game.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of it, you know, MOV was checking the movement a lot of the times. As you see there, Pugera trying to sneak in that dash. But what's really unfortunate is you see the life lead coming in from MOV. You see the pressure afterwards, but that all goes out the window as Pugera brings it back, has all the meter in the world to apply pressure, and takes it over MOV. But still, look at this. Again, the biggest mistake you could possibly make is letting Pugera live with that much life left.
That is definitely the turning point where, you know, MOV let Pugera get all the momentum right there, and then went for a sneaky cross-up right here, a left-right, and Pugera, the block right there, literally demoralized all the chance right there. And I feel like MOV could have taken at least 1-1 or 2-1, but a few key mistakes right there didn't let it happen.
I agree. I 100% agree. And in this matchup, it was pretty much a battle of attrition. Dogura really likes to set the pace where he runs down the clock and plays out the neutral game as much as possible, which is quite impressive because he got to do that for a little bit. Then it became Rashid's city. Once he gets you in the corner, it's all his gameplay. And what's impressive about that is Gachikun didn't overextend a lot. Majority of the offense, majority of the damage dealt came from those throws.
Yep. Gachikun is, even though he's a defensive player, he knows in a matchup like Bison, he actually has to go on the offense at time. And I felt that he has managed to have the very nice balance between the offense and not really overstretching it, as well as the defense right there. So I would say he played very, very well for this set right here against Dogura.
Man, Akira's Kami is so impressive. That chase down option select after a whiff grab while on trigger, chef's kiss. There was so much finesse off of that.
Yep, that also beats B Shiv as well, so it covers a lot of options. But the wake up buttons right here from Akira, a few crucial mistakes, making him lost all the momentum, letting Kawano get him 2-1 is probably the game changing right here. And the EX drill, that was the EX drill right there. You know, it was everything happened way too fast and Akira couldn't really catch his breath on point.
You're right. You're actually right. Yeah, from Akira trying to go for that EX drill would have been great. Although, you know, putting himself in the corner still would have been as detrimental as taking the W or taking the L there from Kawano. You see it right there with the composure. Very impressive play overall from Good 8 Squad. As expected, we talked about this in the beginning of the league, man. Good 8 Squad looking pretty broken, but Nagoya Oja Body Star as their second time around getting put in the away position. Not, you know, not the best, but not the worst either, considering their position right now. We're going into that home team interview with Team Good 8 Squad as well. They got to be feeling pretty damn good, to be honest with you.
Yep, and Kawano seems like he's trying to fight for the record of the best win rate in the league. You know, we have Poison being Fudo being one of the highest right there. You know, and Kawano is now 2-2 as well. You know, being the both anchor match winning 100%. Fudo has won 3 matches. You know, so a total of all the matches he has won. Sometimes it makes me wonder, when will we actually get to see Fudo getting put into reserve? So now we're having the home interview, and then we'll be doing the translation for you in a while.
So overall, you're looking at the performance from Good 8 Squad. Gachikun with a pretty solid win rate, but one I like to emphasize that we talked about Kawano being in the anchor squad, or anchor spot, I should say. Kawano is playing like a team leader with the way that he's been performing. 100% in the anchor position, doing very, very well, impressive manner too. Kawano was actually teasing Gachikun, saying he feels like a leader and trying his best to fulfill his responsibility. I like that.
And they actually have a very unique friendship between Kawano and Gachikun. I would say sensei, because Gachikun used to pay for the travel of Kawano. You know, traveling to the CPT and the last chance qualifier. We see Gachikun Kawano before Kawano was being sponsored. So Gachikun is also a kind of a senpai in a way, you know, providing opportunities for Kawano way before he gets to where he is today. So I believe Kawano definitely appreciate Gachikun a lot, you know, and being to have the same team together with him should be pretty awesome.
Looking forward to seeing more from this squad overall, the Good 8 Squad, that is Gachikun, Kawano, Pugera, and Kichipamu moving on to their next matchup in just a couple of days, I believe. They're going to be chilling up until next week, if I'm not mistaken, where they'll play again on the 28th of October, just in time to warm up right before the CPT Capcom qualifier, actually, for Japan number 3. So
I think that was going to be a pretty awesome one, you know, for the third one. And we also have the Street Fighter League US that's happening later. You know, this is very interesting as well. As you guys can see, you have the SFL Japan, you have the SFL World. Tell me something about it, because I know you're gonna be awake later too.
I've been waiting for this to come to fruition. It's turned into an international players ball at Street Fighter League US. another week coming your way. You see Mr. Crimson out in the front for a very good reason. A lot of the boys are now able to travel with brand new teams going up against each other. All six of these teams have been huge, right? You have Nasser Esports, Team Panda, you have Nordovan, you have the Vodafone Giants, you have Team UYU, and of course Team Bandits. It's been an all international affair throughout each and every week of Street Fighter League. You guys do not want to miss it, happening 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the Capcom Fighters channel. Also happening on the Capcom Fighters channel, you see it right here before your very eyes, the Baltic and Nordic region happening next weekend on the 23rd with the top 16, and then going to the top 8 on the 24th of October. A full weekend of CPT action, not only that weekend, as well as the last weekend going into Halloween time. Real spooky for the Japanese qualifier number 3 for the Capcom Pro Tour, who is going to fill in that 3rd seat to bring them all the games in Capcom Cup alongside some of the other greats who have already qualified. There is so much action to look forward to, all on the CPT, all in Street Fighter League happening later on, as well as Street Fighter League happening right now. After a short break, we're going to see Gyogun go up against Mildom Beast in just a little bit, but Xian, Gyogun versus Mildom Beast, there's a lot going into this one.
I think it's pretty crazy because Margot has the team leader of Gyogun, and then Mildom Beast, Daigo. They have a lot of history. One thing I'm very interested to see is, will we actually see Fudo being on the reserve seat? He's one player I haven't seen on the reserve seat and has won every single match. Is there any reason to ever put Fudo on the reserve seat? I think he has no bad matchup, Fudo. That's what I feel.
I think you're absolutely right, and that is a question we are about to answer, because when we return, we're going to be back with more Street Fighter League Pro Japan 2021 between Team Gyogun and Mildom Beast. And of course, big shout outs to the Breast Cancer Research Foundation providing all these brand new costumes. Again, all those proceeds go to BCRF for those that are very much so interested in fighting for a good cause and getting some really sick costumes. So when we return, we're going to go in with Gyogun and Mildom Beast right after this break.
俺もだ。だが違う。
That's good
Make
kung
your
fu.
move.
I'll finish this. みんなで力を合わせれば何だってできるの。
覚悟は決めた。
一緒に頑張りましょう。
ああ、行くぞ。
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Street Fighter League Pro Japan 2021. My name is Vicious here with Xian, and we're getting right into our next matchup to answer all the questions that were left unanswered prior to the break. Mildom Beast coming up with Daigo and that legendary guile of his that he's been playing on the hitbox with. Fudo as well with a very impressive Poison, as well as Armika, and one of the immortals himself from Shimane, YHC Mochi, and of course, the strongest bullet, the revolver that is Moruto, and then Dan, as well as a handful of other characters. Sen going into it, Mildom Beast versus Team Gyogun is going to be a pretty hefty matchup for Gyogun, considering where they're at in the leaderboards. Mildom Beast has been doing fantastic thus far. Tell me your thoughts about this matchup going into the next team with Gyogun.
There you go. We got Margo with the Cammy right here, the 2D god. I mean, he's been there in the scene for a very long time. You know, my thoughts about this is I feel like Gyogun is not at the bottom of the table. Today is a very important match for him. You know, for them to actually knock it back. Moke hasn't really scored a single win yet. I can imagine how much pressure Moke is actually feeling right now. So I think that Moke will have to actually do some work here today, you know, to bring up the whole, you know, atmosphere and momentum of the team in order, you know, to face up against a team like, you know, Daigo, Mildom Beast. Okay,
I didn't mean to interrupt, man. Did you see Mago's face, dude? What was that all about? I don't know if you saw it, bro, but that was weird. That was mad weird.
Okay, now we have the Mochi has the reserve. We got Daigo, we got Moruto, and we got Fudo has Anchor right there. No, this is not fair, guys. Come on, Margo, show me that face again.
Bruh, it was pretty funky. This guy Mago comes in with the heat when it comes to facial expressions every single round that he's played. It's pretty impressive, man. I hope you can watch it back. When you watch it back, Xian, tonight, you'll see what I was talking about.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely be just looking out for that, you know, leader. Marco is always make very interesting, you know. He's just a personality right there. Okay, I don't know if they're actually discussing about the lineup, but then I guess they're all for a smile. I can't really tell. tell me, who do you think they're gonna be setting up for the first one?
Daigo versus Guile. I don't know, man. This is kind of funky. According to the pregame interview, Mago just chanting out A through M, asking which one they should go with. Machibo and Mizuha trolling they prefer J, but Moke saying the letter E. In terms of all the plans that they have, Mago ended it with saying, let's go with plan A. So as many plans as they have against an away team, they're gonna go with the first one. They've already put in Machibo as a first, so I can't guess it anymore. Guile versus Cammy, I don't think it's too bad of a call out. Machibo being the player that he is, I think he's gonna be able to contest against someone like Daigo.
Okay, so Moke will be the reserve player today, and there you go. You're right, we got a Machabo going. They're actually all teammates. They actually were on the same team, you know, the last SFL, so now they're very familiar with each other, just that Machabo is using a different character now.
Yeah, it's kind of heartbreaking because I really love the synergy from Machibo and Daigo. I had the luxury of being able to watch all of their matches as teammates with like the translated version. So it's kind of funky seeing Machibo have to face off against Daigo.
Machabo was actually one of the very key player in all the previous Street Fighter League. He has a very high win percentage record and he always does very well. I think this is one of his worst performance so far, you know, although we are at the start of the league. You know, I believe he definitely want to redeem himself, just like he's so saying he's well prepared now and it's time to redeem himself for all the personal record loss that he made.
Right now, there was only one time that Machibo was reserved, and that was the day he went out on the weekend to watch movies, which happened on the 19th, right after the weekend. But prior to that, he's played 2 times over, didn't have the most success. He lost to Tokido 0-2. He lost to Rashid from Gachikun 0-2. He does not have a single win on the board. It's a very, very tough pill to swallow considering how successful Machibo was from prior Street Fighter leagues in general with that Nikali.
I think he shouldn't be too hard on himself. I mean, he lost to Gachikun, Capcom Cup champion. He lost to Tokido, the Evo champion. And now he is fighting the legend, Daigo. Like, I feel like he's very hard on himself, but the players that he lost to, I feel like it's nothing to be, you know, ashamed of or like feeling the pressure, but I guess this is what he wants to prove himself. He is Machabo, he is one of the god, you know, and he wants to show what he is made of. With Mago cheering on the back.
I love Mago, man. I think he's been one of my favorite players to watch on and off the court per se, but I mean, it's something about, there's something about him, right? It's the 2D god. Being this animated, he can back it up with a very impressive play for himself, right? Again, being the first qualifier in the Capcom Pro Tour into Capcom Cup, no doubt in my mind he could still have that threatening or the kind of joyful aura, friendly aura around him, but he could definitely be one of the biggest threats here.
I definitely agree, and it seems like he has a chance of being the anchor today again, you know. That will make him the 3rd anchor, you know, despite playing 4 matches. Something about Mutant Beast that I want to say about is Mutant Beast actually has been playing their 3rd away match. I think he's one of the only team that only play 1 home matches, and this is their 3rd away matches, you know. But so they'll actually be able to redeem themselves when they are having more home matches, you know, since it's gonna be equal, right? They just happen to be playing more away matches, you know. So a win for them is definitely really big because being on the away side, you always have a disadvantage of being counterpicked.
We'll see how it plays out, right? We're talking about those counter picks. Daigo as Guile, Machibo trying to come in hot. No, sir, not cleared for takeoff. You gotta warm up the engine first.
Yo, round 1 fight, you know, jumping over right there, you know, Daigo was ready. He understands what he's actually thinking. So, slowing down the pace back for both players. Let's see how.
Ooh, when do we ever see that?
Wow.
When do we ever see Trigger 2?
That was new. V-Trigger 2 is actually a pretty good 2 against Gao. Fujimura also uses V-Trigger 2 against Gao, specifically because you can't throw Fireball. Whenever Gao throw a Fireball and Kami has V-Trigger 2 on deck, he can activate on reaction. So it's just to stop the Fireball right there, you know, from Gao. Okay.
Oh! How often did we see him miss that?
It was a rare drop, I had to say. Now it's out chip damage. Okay, chip damage right there. Perfect read, you know. He even kicked a stand medium kick just to make sure that, you know, it's on chip damage. He doesn't want to waste all the meter and not getting able to kill his opponent. A calculated Machado.
As rocky of a start as it was for Machado jumping in on Daigo, I think that was just information he needed to test the legend and see if he was ready with those anti-airs. And coming in hot with the trigger, he does have trigger again. He's looking to activate it off of a hit rather than a block.
Yeah, but something that Machado just did that many people hasn't been seeing. He just neutral jump to Fireball, you know. That was not easy. Like for Gao's Fireball, and he was so on point with both of them. There you go. There's the power of V-Trigger 2. You get a pressure, you know, after activating. You're still +4. You're in a pretty good position.
Oh, the forward throw now builds up enough critical art. Any solid hit. Actually, he's within range to react to a fireball, react to any sort of sonic boom and kill. Except maybe that one.
But Daigo is a master of fireball. Wow, that back piece. Didn't know this, no CA? I was surprised. Is he not confident of getting the charge? Nice, punishing
he's
the
confident
reversal.
enough to get smoked on Wake Up. Mess around and get smoked. Try Machabo on Wake Up. I like that. Yo, put a 1 out of 1. Give him 100% right now. And invincible reversals. That was actually smooth for Machabo to do it at that very instant.
Daigo has a really smooth round right there with the forward heavy activating into the V trigger, the whole sequence, baiting out the reversal, blocking it, punishing with down medium, and has to end that way against the EXDP, unfortunately.
I still can't believe Daigo didn't bother spending the critical art off of a confirm. I thought he would try to finish the round out, but Daigo just got a little greedy.
Yeah, that CA definitely would make more sense, you know. Another nice neutral jump there from Machado. Look at his movement right there. Those walk blocking of the sonic boom. A lot of players would have been eating a lot of sonic boom while trying to close in the gap right there.
Again, 2 for 2. Still at 100%. Now, the importance of neutral jumping fireball like Sonic Boom, right? You don't want to eat too much chip damage, but at the same time, it resets the timing against Daigo because there's still going to be a fireball occupying the screen. It allows Cammy to further close the gap.
You're absolutely right. Having a fireball on the screen means you cannot throw another fireball until the other fireball went out of the screen. You can see Daigo is so reluctant to throw fireball right here because Machado has B trigger 2, so he can just react, you know, to the fireball, and that will be a big punish into the CA. No fireball, please, because Machado is waiting. You can tell Daigo is not throwing any fireball, so Machado is just going for the pressure right there.
Oh, look at him buffering away for critical art while still in trigger 2. There's going to be a lot of time. Actually, it's a race against the clock. Will the trigger wind down? There's 10 seconds left, and Daigo dashes to his death. Machabo with the check with a back throw. So good to play that patient game. So impressive for Machabo. Now looking at match point.
I would like to say the back throw was a habit right there. He would have checked it with a jab if he... No way! That was so fast, and it was even against the EX Sonic Boom!
Disgusting. Oh, sit him down. Daigo unfazed. Like, yeah, I've seen this before. Not a problem.
Daigo is so sharp, playing so sharp right now, despite like he's not really winning any round, but he's looking really sharp. Machado walking around. Look at those shimmy. V trigger on deck. for Machado, no boom again for Daigo. You can tell that Daigo is just walking forward. He knows he can't throw a boom right there. So what is he gonna do? That's the power of Kami's V-Trigger 2 in this matchup. Like, you literally can't throw a boom at all. I just want to see it happen, okay? He finally forced Machado to activate.
And now you get to see Daigo play as much as he wants with those sonic booms, the baby booms, the regular ones. But still, we haven't seen a single critical art spent. If he gets the 5 knuckle shuffle, okay, he's fine. No, he doesn't do it again. He's holding on to the critical art. This is going to be so dangerous. Now he can't finish his plate because of the fact that Trigger is on deck. And any sort of confirm that Machado gets is going to lead to critical art. But still, Daigo holding on. I love it. I love it going into the next round. That's so scary.
Daigo should have taken it with the CA combo there way long ago already. I think that was a kind of drop that you can see that he's not really on his playing on point today compared to Machado. So he really need to pick up, you know, at that from here.
Ooh.
Okay. The neutral. Left, right here.
So the sonic booms occupying that space, full critical art on deck. Machado could block maybe a little bit more, and now the trigger is activated. Daigo a lot more active. This is the first critical art that we've seen thus far.
From the comeback is still possible. Something about Daigo is you realize that he only throws Sonic Boom at the range where Machado couldn't activate the V-Trigger 2. So Machado wants to stay in the range where he can react to the boom and activate V-Trigger 2. But Daigo, you look at his control and his use of the fireball is so on point, along with the anti-air. So deep, such a gameplay you can see from Daigo. He's never throwing a boom that Machado could react with the V-Trigger 2, even though Machado is waiting for it. There, I would say that he's back on track right here. So we'll see if he can keep up his momentum.
There was something about that instance where Daigo found the moment what actually clicked for him. He's like, all right, if I can't throw a sonic boom, I'm going to start utilizing my normals a little bit more and throw out a little bit more activity in the neutral phase, or excuse me, in the neutral game against Machado, because Machado is trying to play footsies with him. But towards the end, I feel like he got a little complacent waiting for the sonic booms, and you see the mental stack adding up just a little bit. Daigo taking full advantage of that, a full punish with that V-Skill 2 on top. Very nice damage, including the flash kick. So good, so much damage.
Yep, I agree. And now we are back to the same kind of game again. This matchup always boils down to the same situation because Machado picks V-Trigger 2, so you'll see a lot less booms being thrown by Daigo, only unpredictable booms. And that is what he's good at right here. Without throwing a single boom, he can still get all the damage.
This is tough. This is a huge turnaround from Daigo. He's figured it out, right? Kind of similar to how Kawano plays. He took the L in the beginning, but at the very end starts to make that comeback. And I gotta say, Daigo making that comeback at the very last round is pretty impressive. He's still got it.
Yeah, it really looks like it was all Machado until Daigo just suddenly picking up, you know, and getting everything that he needs, you know, to get the comeback.
And it's so inspiring to see. Every time I watch people like Daigo play Guile, it makes me want to pick up Guile, then I forget, oh wait, I'm really bad at charging. Oh no!
He thought that was a sonic boom right there, and I was just surprised that even at that range, he still didn't manage to catch the limb from Daigo. Kinda unfortunate, and now all the resources is gone from Machado's side. He need to rely on his raw skill right here.
He still has a slight chance with the critical art, right? If he hits it off of a heavy and confirms it, it's going to be a good amount of damage that could lead to one more sequence that could possibly spell death for Daigo, but look at that. Go ahead.
That'll be enough to kill if we go for a stand heavy, I believe. No, you look at the mental game between the both players. Daigo is not willing to take any throw, he just doesn't want to get killed. Machado buffering for the CA. Daigo want to throw boom. He doesn't want to throw boom. Machado buffering for the CA. Daigo closing the range. The met. You are
still
kidding me.
Daigo.
He was trying. Daigo was throwing the EX boom because he doesn't have the health lead. He's waiting for the 2 seconds so he can do some great damage in order to win the round with the EX boom. And betting on Machado not being able to react, in time. But Machado says, I am Machado. My reaction, you don't want to test it.
Oh, he did get a counter hit off of the crouch jab. Didn't fully commit to it. Did not get it confirmed. Tried to go for a throw instead to push Daigo further into the corner. Nice EX spiral arrow. Yes, option select against the whip throw. Daigo now has so much room to work with, though. I'm surprised he didn't go for the air throw as the option select, as we've seen before.
Akira was the one that uses the air throw, and he get back to the corner position where Machado uses the DP or the stand heavy kick. I think that's it's worth it for Daigo. Like a jump in, that's worth it. Execution error from Machado.
Now has V-trigger, but still, it's kind of tough when Daigo doesn't even need to throw booms anymore. He's just moving across the screen, waiting for a mistake against Machado. One solid hit, that'll be enough. One solid punch from Daigo, or a kick maybe. Mediums.
Machado doesn't want to activate it on block because you just get reversal, or you just gonna take a throw right there. So V-trigger 2 seems to be working out. It was in good control, but the key game is where Daigo not throwing the boom whenever Machado has the V-trigger, and Daigo is winning during those situations whenever Machado has the V-trigger too. So Machado really need to work around to see how he can make full use of his trigger in those situations. That will be a game-changing point.
Already off to a fantastic start for Mildom Beasts, right? When you're looking at the current record, they haven't been doing too hot on the away side of things. They've fallen short 2 times over. Fudo is the one that has been picking up the pieces, but still netting them 2 points every time they're in that away position. But as it stands, as they were playing in the home side, they got all of their W's. So we'll see how it plays out right now. Mildom Beast again with a W from Daigo, 2-1 against Machado, making the appropriate adjustments. So smart. 100% across the board for Machado in anti-airs and invincible reversals. 60% in anti-airs coming in from Daigo, but still ultimately the winner.
Well, Machado, just like you say, he's definitely not gonna feel too good with an all-lost personal record so far. Definitely not looking like the Machado that I know. But this is looking very good for Team Mildom Beast because they actually are playing their 3rd away match, in the league. Having especially I want to highlight Mildom Beast. This team is gonna be so strong when they are actually on the home. The only home match they played, they got 4-0 with a clean sweep because they have a lot of counterpick character like Dalsim, Gao, Poison. So now the decision goes to Team Gyugun to decide who to come out with to fight.
I'd imagine they'd want to put Colleen next with Mizuha to put Mago against Fudo with Kemi versus Poison, right? I don't know if Colleen has a really solid matchup against Poison, so I'd imagine Mizuha has to come up next against Mototo's Dan.
I don't think it's about the Dan at this point. I feel like their worry is more about the 2-point match. Just like you say, it's probably thinking about who will be the one who wants to fight against Fudo's Poison rather than who is gonna fight the Dan. The approach right here is just to get a draw will be a pretty nice win for them, since Machado is a key, for winning the first match.
Yeah. From the way the camera is panning towards Mizuha, I'd imagine he's going to be put up next, and it is indeed going to be Mizuha versus Moruto. Battle of the M's. Whoever loses has to change their name. I'm totally kidding. Colleen versus Dan, a matchup we rarely get to see. But if you have any sort of insights, Xian, in terms of this matchup and what we've seen thus far from Moruto, what can you break down for the folks at home when it comes to this Dan play?
What if I tell you I've never seen Colin fought against Dan in my whole life playing Street Fighter 5? Yeah, I haven't seen a single match of Colin versus Dan. That is definitely a very unorthodox and rare matchup, you know. I don't even know what to expect. Like, one character has very strong normals with fighting against a character with very shabby normals. So I suppose Moroto will be going in, so that'll be nice to watch because we're gonna see another Dan match right here. Don't forget, it's 100% win rate so far. He's been really amazing with his set play, you know, and he won a 2-point match as anchor for Team Mutant Beast. I very look forward to what he has to bring onto the table today.
I loved it too. The amount of confidence Mildon Beast had with Mortal. They're like, you know what? We're gonna put this young gun. He's our intern. We're gonna put him into the fire and see how he succeeds. Now he's one of the beasts, right? He's one with the pack. He's become an executive with the way he's been playing as Dan. I like that. He's stepping up in the ranks and stepping up yet again for his team. Very excited to see this, as it's again for both me and Xian. This is our first time watching this match.
Yeah, we're both on the same boat. I don't know what to expect, you know. Watching so many Street Fighter matches in my life, this is still my first time watching this. I wonder, how do you be fully prepared? You know, Mizuha said that he's committed to training for their matchup, and I do wonder what kind of approach, because the only time we've seen Moroto played was against John Takeguchi, and he showed really great gameplay, you know, from there, and there's only good things to be seen from here. So we'll see what is Mizuha's approach, you know, towards the Dan matchup.
We had a little bit of a tidbit interview coming in from YXC Mochi saying he wants to invite all of his friends to Shimane. It's a good time to visit since it's autumn and it's a prefecture in the far west of Japan. Well, listen, if that is extended to the commentators as well, if we could find a hot spring there, that'll be our first location for the Street Fighter League Japan podcast with me and Xian.
Yeah, that's for sure. I'm definitely looking forward to see one of my favorite players, YXC Mochi, a place that he actually live in. You know, Mochi hasn't traveled to any international tournament. He doesn't travel, from what I heard. Mochi doesn't really travel out of Japan, you know, so the only time, you know, you wanna get to see him is only opportunities like this, or the CBT Japan.
Right. And that's awesome, honestly. I think, you know, YXC Mochi holding it down in Japan, being one of the legends, if he had an opportunity to travel outside, I'd feel like he'd be one of the most popular Dalsims, if not already. I think he's, for those that are already in the know when it comes to Street Fighter, people understand who this man is and why he's so legendary. But as it stands right now, he's going to be holding it down for Japan as long as he could, just hanging out with that Dalsim, as impressive as ever. But going into this next matchup, again, YXC Mochi is the reserve, hanging out for Team Mildon Beast. We're looking at Mizuha versus Moruto. There's a lot of M's, the quadruple M coming in from the Team Gyogun, trying to get their points.
Yeah. Very coincidentally, you know, this is the 4 M's right there, and they are all pretty nice looking, I would say. So talking about YXC Mochi, you know, he hasn't have a great track record so far because, like I said, Mutant Beast has played 3 away teams compared to the rest of it. And Dalsim is a character that meant a little bit being able to counterpick. So he hasn't really performed to the standard of what he is. So I do expect when he get to the home side, we'll be seeing more of YXC Mochi. But right now, let's watch Dan. Moruto. I don't know what to expect, and you're just gonna see great sequence from here.
I'm excited for it. I'm absolutely excited for it. I want to know how this matchup even plays out. I'm not even sure myself, and I just want to see Moruto swing for the fences. If he gets a possible infinite setup, I'm about it. I want to see it.
That lucky Rick Fireball is gonna be a obstruction, you know, to the infinity right there from Moruto. To in order to land the infinity from Dan, it's not only for this adjustment right now. You not only have to stun your opponent, which is kind of hard for Dan. You also need to make sure your fireball is not the lucky rig fireball. So there's so much requirement right there, you know. So I really want to see if like the lucky rig fireball would come out, because the last time we saw the lucky rig fireball came up, Moroto actually took the win for the team. So let's see if we're gonna see any rig lucky fireball from Moroto's Den today.
We'll see how it plays out. Man, they're taking it super serious. They turned off their webcams. They want to make sure to focus entirely on the game. They don't want you to see their facial expressions. We get that. They want to be in tip-top shape. Mizuha, on the other hand, staying focused on the game as well. All jokes aside, it's going to be Colleen versus Dan. Very, very excited to see it. I got to say, this is the first time we've actually seen Moroto on the away side. You were talking about YHC Mochi and how he's pretty much a sitting duck in terms of being counterpicked as Dalsim. Do you think this is a better choice, having Moroto in this position for the away team?
I think Moroto is definitely better because, like, since he's used to having bad matchups, right? But Dalsim can be saved a lot better when he used for the home position, you know, because Dalsim can be a very great counter to certain characters. But then I would not say for the case. It's pretty much the same thing, you know. You do have to fight hard matchups all the time. It's all about your pressure and the way you get in. I like those sequences from Moroto. He is very crispy so far.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of activity when it comes to the normal cancels, but still, here comes Mizuha with the setup and the mix-up into the other side. A lot of counter hits. Back throw now, close to stun. V-shift out of there. Moroto resetting the situation with a ton of meter as well. Check the lows and the throw. Close to death.
Oh, and that counter here from Mizuha right there, you know, landing into, converting into the Stanley kick. That was, the ground game was pretty much, you know, Colin's playground so far. Let's see how Moroto is gonna be getting back into the game, closing the range.
Oh boy, all the way to the corner? Yes, sir. Look at the amount of damage and the amount of carry he gets.
Okay, you see a lot of stand heavy kick right there, you know, cancellation from Moroto. You're gonna get the stun. I want to see the infinite. Do the infinite. Okay. There you go. No lucky red path. Well,
yeah, try to nerf this. Oh my god, and a perfect sequence. Moroto, he plays a mini gacha game in Street Fighter V. What more could you actually ask for? He's been drawing all those lucky tickets to see if he'll get a lucky red fireball. He doesn't, so he grinds out for more points for the next draw.
Yeah, for people who doesn't know, then when they throw a fireball right now in this version, it could be a normal fireball or the rig fireball, and the infinity, you have to make sure that the rig fireball doesn't come out. So you need a lot of luck in order to land the infinity from Den for this season. So that was a great, you know, kind of luck for Moroto, but I guess it doesn't matter since it's almost a perfect round.
Yeah, and you were talking about it before. In order to be put in that situation, Dan needs like what, 3.5 sequences to stun you in the first place.
Yep, that's a lot of the damage and read, you know, in order to get the stun, because he doesn't do a lot of stun. I like the VR right there for Moroto, getting back into the neutral.
Full critical art on deck. Oh, you're gonna punish. Oh, I feel like he could have done a light maybe into anything, any sort of corner carry. Oh, that's great. Roundhouse confirmed. The Danku Kyak. A lot of pressure. EX again to apply even more. Gonna be backing out. Doesn't want to deal with anything coming in from Mizuha. There's the activation into trigger 2. I like the V reversal coming in from Moroto.
He's playing very, very safe right here. He's not making any risk at all. Oh, those neutral jump.
Oh, another big blatant weakness. We saw this taken advantage of by John Takauchi. If Mizuha finds out that Moroto is susceptible to these throw baits, he might have a good time. He has to make sure he takes advantage of that. Because how many times has Moruto fallen for those throw baits in the last time we saw him play?
I feel that Moto is playing very good the entire game, you know, just to be falling back when it comes to closing the round. He got way too safe, you know, and that's how, you know, he ended up losing the round. I want to see him make some adjustment to his play. Okay, corner.
Throw now, close to stun as well. Background house to keep him in check. Moruto trying to find his escape option, scooping away at the legs.
Feels like I kind of understand how Moruto is approaching the match right here. Stand heavy kick, you know, B skill 2 is this approach, you know, in order to get the range. That's one of Dan's strongest too as well, you know, that a stand heavy kick is such a good range, you know, and you can actually cancel into a pressure, something safe, you know, or anything that you kind of want. So the stand heavy kick is a pretty key tool right there. It felt like Mizuha doesn't have a good
what?
Doesn't have a good approach, you know, towards his stand heavy kick game so far. Even though Mizuha is taking all the rounds so far, you know, like I felt like Mizuha hasn't really been having a good answer to his stand heavy kick. It's just the character ability of Colin is too good against a character like Dan.
No, it makes sense. Oh boy, just outraging Moruto straight up. Background house. No activation into trigger. A huge error from the side of Mizuha. That might cost him the round, but we'll see if he can find his composure with the activation of this trigger to put the brakes on Moruto, or at least put a cap at the gun.
Mizuha standing out of millimeter really fast. Wow, the double low medium kick string right there for Moruto. That's kind of tricky. Trying to catch on any jumping, walking back or back dash. And now he's gonna gas right here. What is he gonna do? Get the comeback.
Oh, that is great. A counter hit.
Get a nice combo. Go for double. This is gonna kill.
Oh, he's
nice
so sick. This man is so sick. Kick.
He was mashing on that stand heavy kick, canceling. Oh, red fireball! There you go. Your luck is.
It's like watching a shooting star, Xian.
You gotta get the win. I think you're gonna win even though you're in the corner. The red fireball is a sign that you're gonna take it. Come on, don't prove me wrong.
Oh boy.
Come on, the red fireball is a game changer right there. Do it for us. Do it for the fans. Everyone wants to see Dan winning.
I would love to see Dan winning. Oh, we're gonna see his wish come true.
Oh, what a sequence! Double dash bring to the corner? No, that jump in is kind of a checkmate right here. V trigger, no.
The activation. He's not dead yet. And the throw bait. What better time to utilize your trigger into the throw bait than that time right there? Moruto being as susceptible as ever towards the end. He had to guess for game. We saw it. Is it a bad omen now if we see the lucky red fireball? Is it the adverse effect?
I felt like he could have closer on the first game, you know. Like the first round when he played, the first time I played against John Naguchi, the red fireball was definitely a good side, but I felt like this time the red fireball came a little bit too late, you know. Quite a pity, feeling like Moruto could have done a lot better, you know. Like if he had gotten the first game, he definitely could have got the momentum building, which then is especially important, you know, as a momentum character because it's always pressuring, you know, cracking his opponent right there. Well, not too bad, you know, at least he did his best. This matchup is very difficult, so I think he did well, you know, for his team. Gonna leave it to his rest of his team member.
Right. Thinking about it, you know, if you had to put in YC Mochi or Moruto, I think it's still good to get Moruto in his rotations on the away team to kind of gauge his strength and see how he would do against being counter-picked against certain teams, right? So it's still pretty early, not too bad. You see the statistics coming in from Mizuha, 100% on anti-airs, 0-2, a bunch of other donuts for the side of Moruto. Again, we talk about Moruto being played in the middle spot on the away side. Not too bad considering Mildon Beast currently has or is coming in with 7 points, now currently at 8 points. Still so many more matches to play. And speaking of which, we're gonna have our anchors coming up. Fudo going up against Mago. How are you feeling about that one?
I don't know, like I feel like you cannot let Fudo keep playing. Like he is very strong, he has many characters, and he seems to never, I don't see any occasion where you can put it on the reserve seat. Like he seems to be a gem right there where he should play every single time, because like he doesn't really lose to a lot of players and he's really solid as well, you know. So I wonder what approach Mago is gonna come up with to deal with Fudo, you know, because this is a very important match, you know, for Team Gyugun.
Yeah, so as important as it is for Gyogun, I think it's also important for Fudo's personal record, considering how well he's been doing. I think he's 100% so far. The last time he played against a stacked team, it was against Bonchan and Team FAV. He went 2 games straight as Poison, 2 games straight against Tachikawa, against Team Detonation. Fudo has been on a hot streak, actually. Barely won against Higuchi from Shinobiism Gaming. He has, I think, the overall best record in the league.
Yep, and the best record is nothing surprise coming from Fudo. So Mago also saying that both Machabo and Mizuha perform as they should have, you know, whether win or lose, you know, so it doesn't matter. That's a very great encouragement, you know, kind of advice from his leader. Mago is shouting, saying, "I am the leader. He is the
Hear
man."
me roar.
Mago. Some interesting fact right here. Mago used to be the one who brought Fudo into the scene. Mago used to be the master of Fei Long, where Fudo has a, you know, virtual fighter background. So Mago used to teach Fudo how to play the game, you know, like how to be stronger, you know, and now there's a very long backstory that I almost forgot about it.
Right,
Okay,
that is a very
nice
important
try,
backstory too. Both of them playing the same kind of character, but Mago always keeping it to the offensive route.
Oh, early Bishi. Cammy is one of those better character, you know, when it comes to matchup base, you know, against Poison. Poison is very strong, so it doesn't mean that it can't fight the match, but it's still a pretty good match for Cammy, you know, because you can't really deal with the air trajectory, you know. As a Poison, it's very hard to deal with the jump in and the dive kick, as well as the spiral arrow is able to punish certain buttons from the down heavy punch and the whip from a range.
And this is going to be so difficult, right? He's going to get a lot of damage off of this critical art, but what's important is Cammy's back is towards the corner, and Poison occupies 3/4 of the screen, being right in the middle of the stage. A big jump in! Mago does not care at all what happened after that critical art.
Now, something about the critical art about Poison is it brings you back to the mid-screen, you know, so there's something not too good right there when it comes to Fudo's position just now. I feel that he shouldn't have done the CA, but now, okay, no chip damage. And the beautiful shimmy.
That was great. That was a perfect time to implement the shimmy, forcing Fudo to guess in that 50-50 scenario. Not too often you get Fudo biting in your favor. It's sometimes, you know, Fudo assesses the situations so quickly that he's willing to press buttons and take those sort of risks, but not this time, not against Mago.
Fudo is definitely one of the, when it comes to defense, one of the guy that does, maybe I would say he does the most tech throws when it comes to defense. Fudo is never afraid to be taking a throw when it comes to defense, you know, but He has other good. Wow, what a nice buffer after the down medium.
Oh my
this
god.
sequence is another
Dead?
tech throw right there from.
I can't believe it. Off of 2 tech throws, right? Fudo just gets demolished in the corner. This is looking great for the anchor, but in true fashion of the Mildom Beast, there's been great adaptations made from a deficit. So we'll see if Fudo can make it happen. So far, Mago has been on a hot streak and opening up Fudo's defenses.
Well, Fudo, what he's known for is for the neutral game. You know, when it comes to defense side, like usually he got cracked pretty hard. I don't know if that's supposed to be a DP, but the drill right there actually makes it even better because you get an Oki. If Mago intentionally does that, that would be pretty impressive.
I'm gonna say yes, he actually meant it.
Yeah, I would give it the benefit of a doubt right there. Oh, and the neutral jump out of nowhere from Fudo, punishing the down heavy. A little bit of luck, you know, but still a pretty safe option, you know, for Fudo. Don't let Fudo come back, Mago. Just take it 2-0. Full meter right there. Very good situation for Mago to play this round.
Man, how many times has he gotten away with firing away with those spiral arrows? Even in neutral, right? In rounds prior or games prior? Man, again! I'm loving it. I think he's getting punishes on some of these heavier whips, but most of the time, a lot of these have just been hitting the mark randomly.
Yeah, the EX one is a little random, but the heavy one, actually, when you block poisons down heavy close, it's actually a punish because it's minus 10. Yeah. So, Fudo picking up the counter hit.
Critical line? Oh, it's too far. Or I guess too shallow.
You need to land it. Yeah, you need to make it higher, you know, then you get a chance to link into the CA. Raw combo is pretty hard.
Yeah.
That was a counter for the stand medium kick.
Oh, the raw jumping.
Mago getting a lot of raw jumping in this matchup. I would say that's a very key point, you know, to getting these wins. He's punishing everything that he should on the ground, on the air. Played perfectly so far, I would say.
It's actually not. It's unorthodox for Fudo to get caught slipping this many times. I think Mago has had so many opportunities where he's gone for these drills, gone for these jump-ins, not even just dive kick, just raw jump-ins, right? It's been very interesting to see Fudo kind of flustered in the neutral game.
Yep. And okay, the corner pressure is pretty intense right here. Oh, he jumped the combo! That is the combo for the stun. A little bit game changer, but it doesn't really matter. Gas patrol right here.
And he guessed correctly again. Another punish on a whip normal. The jump in from Mago being so attentive to Fudo's ranges he's been playing absolutely out of his mind right now. Such a stellar performance from Mago.
One of the key thing in this matchup is Poison always have to swing the stand heavy punch, you know, so Mago is always jumping at the point where the stand heavy whip, and you always get a clean punish if you read the stand heavy. So that, but Fudo is always waiting, not really using the stand heavy all the time, but Mago is just always jumping at the right timing, so the momentum is so heavy on Mago's side.
Precisely, yeah.
There you
Fudo
go.
still has not found it yet, but this might be a whole changeup, right? So long as he has rounds to play, he is possible or in contention for a comeback. We've seen Daigo do it earlier, being down up until match point. Fudo can potentially do it here now.
I agree. You know, Fudo has been so careful with the stand heavy punch all the time, but then the moment he does it, very nice side switch right there.
My God, Mago close to stun. It's gonna get the back throw. The V reversal saving Fudo's life.
There's so much health right here. I'm not sure. Wow, Fudo confirming the stand heavy. He just want to escape. No.
Oh my God. October, Mago is a real thing. Moving in from September, bringing it all the way to October. This man does not stop getting his W as the anchor. How often have we seen that? Not too often. The last time he played, he started off the matches, he got an L. But Mago again coming in clutch in the anchor seat. This is his second time actually getting a clutch W as the anchor.
I think he get this is third time as his anchor, I believe. Once in away team and once in home team losing to Pugera, and once in away team. This is his third time being on the anchor match really, and he has been so on fire, you know, like it felt like the team would be. It's a very important leader, you know. Without Mago, it could have fallen even, although now they are actually on the bottom of the league, but this is an important win for them. It's not 4-0, it's 3-1, but it's still really, really good, you know. I want to see what they have to say, you know. I really want to see this home interview right here.
So impressive, right? Absolutely impressive. Getting 3-1. This is the kind of boost they needed. They were still not out of it. The last time we saw them in their last match over on the 12th of October on a Tuesday, Mago was saying, you know, despite us not having the best record currently in the standings, we're still going to keep our heads high and aim for the best. And they're slowly making their way, right? It's still very early to call. We saw in that spreadsheet, 1 out of 1, 100% accuracy with the anti-airs. Not too bad for the leader.
Yep. It's still really early. They really have nothing much, you know. Okay, we're gonna see some highlights. There you go. That's where the power of the V trigger came out for Cammy. Machabo successfully used once, you know, and gotten like a pretty good round. You know, he definitely get a lot of momentum, you know, and but failing to capture the key rounds right there, I think is what makes Daigo got the comeback against Machabo.
Right, and you see Daigo slowly picking apart the way Machabo wanted to play, revolving his strategy all around that trigger 2 usage, right? This is one of those key moments too where it could have been it for Daigo, using EX Sonic Boom and expecting Machabo not to flinch, but we get it. He was running out of time. But overall, Daigo was the victor, and this is one of the moments we love to see from Moruto. I believe this is the sequence where it led to the big infinite.
Yep. This is actually not a very difficult infinite, you know, but you just have to make sure you don't get the Rick Fireball, which is something that you can't really rely on skill, I guess. Hey, the EX Ice.
Yeah, Mizuha also, you know, falling short just a single game, or actually not a single game, a single round, and taking it full force, exposing some of the weaknesses Moruto might have had in his games, and also not being susceptible to any sort of throw baits, but it's all for naught as you see the big Danretsuken into Dankukyak into the uppercut. So well done. Just not enough to deter Mizuha.
Something I also noticed about Moruto is he does a lot of EXDP, you know, and but so far so good. I mean, like he has done one-to-one when it comes to score, and you get the October Mago right here. There's a nice punish, you know, from Mago. He recognized the range and when, you know, he can do a drill and when he cannot, along with those YOLO EX drill, that's for sure.
Right, yeah, if you take a look back at this entire set, take a count, like an active count as how many times Mago has closed the gap with raw drills. And you can see a lot of the success he gets after that in those offensive sequences. As valiant as Fudo has been playing on defense and trying to show off that offense as well and making those moments count and hit hard, like those hard hits happen, I feel like there's certain decisions where him letting critical art rock wasn't necessarily the best choice.
Okay, this could be a CA for the catching of the jump back, but he didn't do it. You know, not necessary from here. Look at Fudo has something that's really good, that is 10 heavy punch, kick confirming into the flip kick, you know, into the combo. It's something that a lot of poison player doesn't do it. Most poison player will just do stand heavy into the whip. but Fudo has a very high success rate of landing the stand heavy, confirming into the flip kick, into a combo. Love Me Tender, that's the name of the flip kick.
Love Me Tender, that's correct, yeah. Going into it, you're looking at the interview for the winner's side. Mago creeps me out sometimes, man, I'll tell you what. But looking at the statistic from Mildom Beast, actually that is their second time in a row playing on the away side, right? They played on the 19th 2 days ago, and it's their second time in a row going 0-3. That's got to be pretty detrimental to their mental health, really, at least for their spirits, I should say.
Yeah, the away side, you know, is just not a big advantage for a team like Daigo, which is full of character specialists. Just happen to be, but when it comes to the home side, I want to see them having 4-0 the next time again. You know, they had a perfect record on the home side, and I do look forward to that. Now we're gonna see the home interview right here.
Mago saying, you know, he's finally feeling like a leader with his performance, right? You can all tell from his smile. And what's perfect about this right now with the way he's led into it, Mago said he heard rumors saying Fudo claiming that the 21st of October is the end of Gyogun. But instead, Mago feels it might be the end of Team Mildom Beast. So I think he's trying to feed Fudo back his words and make that team pay for it. This is a different side of Mago that we rarely get to see, him actually firing back verbally.
Well, you can tell that they have been good friends for a very long time. Used to be master and disciple as well. That's how close they actually are to be cracking jokes, you know, to each other. But it's nice to see how they've evolved their friendship until now. So Mago also feels that it might be. Mago's saying that they guess that Mochi wouldn't be coming up today, which is really on point, I would say. So they actually had Mizuha train hard against them. That was a nice read from Mago, guessing the sequence of his opponent's team.
Right, we won't see Team Gyogun for a little bit till like next week, where they're going to be facing off against Sai, Shunkan, Seoul, Kumamoto. But as it stands right now, a lot of the home teams gathering a lot of those points. Good 8 squad with another 4-0 under their belt against the Goya Oja Body Star, as well as Team Gyogun getting 3-1 against Mildom Beast. You can see the current standings. Good 8 all the way at the top with 13. V6 plus FAV Roto Z hanging in there at 10 points in second place. Mildom Beast slowly moving up with just a single point with number 8, or excuse me, 8 points. And of course in fourth place, Shinobiism Gaming with 7. You see down below, you see Gyogun making their way up from the 7th place into 5th with 7 points. Nagoya Oja Body Star still with another, you know, complacent placing with 6, no points yet from this week. Sai Shunkan Seoul Kumamoto with 5 points at 7th place, as well as 8th down below with Team Detonation. We got to see some points from the side of those two teams, from Seoul and Detonation, as we move on to these matches.
Yep. I just want to add on something from the translation. Just now Mago he just said that he doesn't want to lose to that leader of Mutant Beast. That leader specifically, you know, Fudo. just want to say that, you know, because I don't want to miss that translation for you guys.
That's
you
right.
know, I love the respect.
And coming up next, again on the 25th, next Monday, Shinobiism Gaming going up against V6 plus FAV Roto Z, as well as the next match, Komofon Detonation versus Sai Shunkan Seoul Kumamoto. It has been an extravagant week of Street Fighter V and Street Fighter League Japan. We hope to see you guys next Monday. Take care, everyone. We'll see you next time.